Ladies and gentlemen, we want you to stand and we want you to make some noise.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go racing here at Knoxville.
Only the best go three abreast.
It is show time at Williams Grove Speedway.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here at Eldora Speedway, it's showtime!
You got them for a breath. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the world of outlaws.
It's time to sit back, relax, and enjoy because, ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime!
Set to do battle for 30 laps. The green flag is waving.
Hello again. It is Wing Nation presented by Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength. Talking sprint car racing. Our favorite time of the week. We are glad you joined us. Erin, Evernham, and Steve Post here, and we are locked in for a great, great show. Okay, we're going to talk to the straight shooter, Scott Kreutter. Okay, now this guy.
I like that nickname.
Yeah, the straight shooter.
I didn't
yeah.
know that.
Oh, yeah, no, he runs with us with the indoor racing that we do up in the Northeast. And then, by the way, he picked up the Canadian National win up at Oshwegan. So we're going to talk to him. And this is a first for us. We're going to talk to Logan Wagner, but he is in the air right now. So as soon as he lands, we're going to dial him up. We may actually do a cockpit interview with him in the cockpit of his plane. So we're going to talk to Logan Wagner. He picked up the big win at Selinsgrove.
Yeah.
So it's all good. How are you?
Good, very good. How about you? How was your weekend?
Are you kidding me? Man, I was at Atomic Speedway, the Dean Niddle Memorial. Okay, this is only the second year, and I don't know that I've seen a second year event with this much momentum. First and foremost, Jeff Niddle, who's Dean's son, it's the Dean Niddle Memorial, so Dean's no longer with us. Jeff Niddle is his son, and he has done amazing things putting this together. The purse for the A main and the B and the non-qualifiers race was over $50,000.
Wow.
They paid $12,554 to win. There was bonus money if you were the first car in the pits. Though I mean, they had you win a heat race, quick time, lead the most laps, hard charger, longest distance. I
love those awards.
Yeah. Drank the most beer, drank the least beer.
Were you in contention for that?
I almost won that. No. But they Jeff Niddle, what he did was phenomenal. And the beauty of it is the drivers loved it too. The drivers really, there was a lot of, he's walking through the pits, and I don't know what they were for. He's just walking through the pits on Saturday, just handing out gift cards and discount cards for local speed shops and places like that. I mean, who does that? I mean,
no, that's great for the average racer when you don't expect something.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, the guys up front, they're doing all their deals. Yeah. But if you're sitting there, you're the local 305 guy or the local 410 guy. Yeah, you're sitting there and you got a $50 off this from that, and you're getting that, and especially going into the off season.
Yep.
Oh my gosh! So Jeff just does a great job with this. Raised all that money. It is a community thing. Everybody is on board. Everyone is involved. I'm telling you, it's just really, really well. And they've already announced that the purse next year is going to be $15,054.
Oh wow!
For the winner share.
They already know that.
They're already moving up on it. They're still obviously working with the All Stars on dates and all the other stuff. But so that's the first thing. Well, the first thing. Okay, now here's the first thing. This is before I even arrived. Now, Erin, this you know that I have a minor interest in eating.
Minor interest in eating. I never noticed.
Right. So on Thursday, I'm leaving Charlotte, and I'm like, I'm going to be in the Charleston area for about lunchtime. So I just put on Twitter, hey, any ideas in Charleston? And Travis Quapfold, the NASCAR champion, Truck Series champion, suggested this Ridgeview barbecue that was spectacular. I mean, this was great barbecue, okay? So, but in the process of this guy, Dan, sends me a note and says, kind of, we're doing a perch fry tomorrow at Atomic. Perch fry. You had me at perch, okay? And so I went to Dan's perch fry. Now, this guy and this group, I think there was 7 or 8 of us sitting around, and we ended up sitting around for probably an hour just talking sprint car racing. It was great. But Dan, you want to talk about perch. I mean, first and foremost, there was more perch than all of us big eaters in this building could eat. I mean,
there's some big eaters here.
Yeah, exactly. So the perch was phenomenal. It was so good. And perch is really good when done right. So
Yeah.
he did a perch
I'm
fry.
not sure I've ever had perch, to be honest.
Come to if
oof.
you'd gone to Dan's,
All right, Atomic might be on the calendar next year.
You'd have been perch for lunch the next day and perch on the way back. Yeah, I mean it's that good. It's really really good. And Dan, now his wife is not a huge sprint car fan. She loves NASCAR racing. Okay, so she comes for the perch fry and then leaves before the races. So, but Dan loves to cook. Okay, she will admit. Well, she admitted to me. I don't know if she would admit it on the radio. Well, she's getting ready to. Because she will acknowledge that she may not enjoy cooking. She does not enjoy cooking as much as Dan.
Okay,
There, I'll put
we'll
that
just
there.
say
Okay,
that,
I'll
yeah.
just put that there. Okay. She has no problem cleaning up.
Oh.
Oh my gosh, do you have a sister? But Dan is this, like he does the perch fries and he makes his own pasta.
Ooh,
and he's like a cooking geek. And so really, really cool guy. I got to hang out with a bunch of his friends and buddies that they all camp together. They camp together at Eldora. They camp together wherever they go. And just really, really cool.
This isn't going to be your last visit with him.
No, it will not be my last visit. No. Just great folks. So we had the perch fry. And I think another thing that comes to mind, we watch, and we're so lucky in this sport with Speed Shift and Dirt Vision and all of our partners, okay? We love our pay-per-view. But pay-per-view is a cheap alternative to being at the racetrack.
Yeah.
Okay? Being at the racetrack. I am telling you, Tony Stewart's the Ollie's Bargain Outlet All-Star Circuit of Champions. Man, there are some great races over there. It's phenomenal how good. Well, I mean, James McFadden won the first 2 nights. That cat, anywhere, anytime, you put him in a competitive car, and he's gonna make you work for it. He is so good. Reitzel is an animal.
Yeah.
I mean, I continue to be so impressed. And I remember when Reitzel was this 360 kid, ASCS kid from Clute, Texas.
Yep.
And it's almost like as we've evolved this show for 9 years, watching his career go and evolve has been fun.
Yeah, and usually at some point a driver's career plateaus a little bit. His just
keeps
continues.
on going.
Yeah.
I mean, that cat can wheel a race car. I mean, Dale Blaney, Corey Eliason, Tim Schaefer was there driving for Tony Stewart.
Yeah, and you have any beverages with
I had
Tim?
some. Yes, I had an Applebee's visit with Schaefer. Yes, I had a little Applebee's time.
Any Aliquippa talking?
We did not get to the Aliquippa state, but we had a really nice visit. Tim's just a great guy. I mean, Greg Wilson. What can we say? Chad Kemenah looking really good in that Garvin car. I thought he was going to win the one night. I mean, just great stuff. Really, really cool. But now, so then there's now you're going to Chillicothe.
Yep.
Okay. Now you have all of the sights and sounds of Chillicothe, but there's one sight and sound in Chillicothe that you have to spend some time with, and that's Danny Smith.
Oh yes.
Okay. So I went over and there's a video on our Facebook page, okay? And I know that a lot of you are listening to this show, so I'll describe this as I'm unfurling this. But I went over and got the T-shirt, the 2019 version. My only concern with Danny is that he may change the paint scheme.
I know, because he changes it so often.
He does that all the time.
I know.
It's just,
he can't keep up.
Yeah, I mean he'll announce in February what his paint scheme is for this year.
Yeah, and then you can never pick him out on the track because his car's always different.
Car's always different. Yeah, exactly. So but then I'm standing there, okay, and I end up with this. This is the non-wing Gambler T-shirt. Okay, those of you watching can see I'm holding it up, but those of you listening, it is the non-wing Danny Smith Gambler car that he used to race.
That is
old
school.
He's rock star every day of his life. This was in his wear your butt out rock star phase, at the top of his game and everything.
Yep.
I mean, he shows up, it's like, well, what a second pay. Because Smith is here. We're just gonna, okay, but now this gets better because on the back of it, look at that, Kenny Rogers, the gambler. You got to know when to hold him. That guy. On the back of this T-shirt, Kenny Rogers. So I got a T-shirt now with Danny Smith on the front and Kenny Rogers on the back.
What's the Kenny Rogers racing team?
Kenny Rogers used to own or be part of that racing team.
Was he really?
Yes,
I did not know that.
Yes, he was. Kenny Rogers, part of the Gambler racing team. Wow. Yes, he was. Kenny Rogers had a car. And then the other guy that he used to be on, Roy Clark actually had a car too. But Kenny Rogers used to be part ownership or tied into this thing somehow. Wow. Yes, he did. And so I have got Kenny Rogers and Danny Smith on a T-shirt. So I'm locked in with that. But now, Okay, now Jeff Niddle wanted me to bring this next gift to you. Okay.
Oh, boy.
And it's a nice little checkered box. Here, a little cardboard box. Maybe you'd see some lunch packed in or something. Okay. Now, here's the story on this, Erin.
Oh, boy.
I did not. This was the Dean Niddle Memorial. Okay. Dean Niddle. Okay. Made fudge.
Oh.
Dean Niddle made his own fudge.
Wow.
Okay. So his daughter, Jeff's sister, his daughter has taken over the fudge business.
Yum.
Okay. And so they wanted me to bring fudge for y'all. So we're going to go to a commercial break here in a little bit, and you and I are going to eat some fudge. I don't know what that one is.
That one looks interesting.
That one looks really, really interesting.
Got my attention.
We got a peanut butter fudge.
Oh,
and we got one that's
can't
white
really go
with
wrong
like
with peanut butter.
with nuts in it, but it's got like chocolate on the
that
bottom
one
too.
there.
That looks really good.
Maybe we sample both.
So yes, we should. So Dean Niddle used to make fudge, and so part of the winnings, Erin Reitzel, he won $12,550 plus bonus for leading laps and everything like that. He also won fudge, but Erin Evernham got fudge too, and Ashley's going to have. We got a little bit. We're going to save a little bit for Ashley. And a little bit for me.
Thank you.
For me. So, so we got fudge. So how about that? So that is pretty cool. Wow. Great opening segment here. Well, we're kind of a lot
of food and a little bit of racing.
Yes, a little bit of racing. We're in kind of a weird spot here because we're going to talk to Scott Kreutter here in just a second, but we need to push back just a little bit to make sure that Logan Wagner lands. So we're all over the map here on trying to schedule this thing out. But let's take a look now at our Classic Ink screen printing and embroidery hot topics. The Ollie's Bargain Outlet All-Star Circuit of Champions, the Dean Niddle Memorial, James McFadden Thursday, James McFadden Friday. Saturday, Erin Reitzel took up the win. Here's what I like about Saturday, though. Cole Duncan and Jimmy Stinson, 2 Saturday night regulars at Atomic, second and third. And they were rolling at the end of that thing too. I mean, it was good stuff. It really was. So great stuff at Atomic. World of Outlaw, Nace Energy Drink, Sprint Cars, the Heartbreaker heard around the sprint car world. Friday night Stockton, Jacob Allen checked out, gone, bye-bye. 2 laps to go. Car ignition off from turn number 4, and he pulls down into the infield. You could just the Twitter verse blew up.
Yes.
You could just I'm there monitoring it, and all of a sudden it's just like, ugh, oh no, heartbroken. I'm like, what the hell? You know, because it takes a little, you get the reaction before you know what happens with it when you're not watching it like on Dirt Vision or whatever it is. The good side of it for the Shark Racing Dryden team is Logan Schuart was running second.
And his Victory Lane interview was impressive.
Yes, very impressive.
He didn't want to take that one.
No, I don't. And they were looking at a 1-2 Dryden sweep with Shark Racing. And I was just, what do you say? You just can't.
He was there. It's going to happen.
This sport will tear you apart. Brandon McLean. Last week I was talking about his Carolina Sprint Tour first place. He went and ran with USCS. He finished last. Yeah. You know, this sport is just like one day. The problem of it is it'll kick you in the shin about 300 times, and one day you get to stand on the wing.
And that one day on the wing
is
keeps
worth
you,
the 300 kicks in the shin or other areas that you can get kicked in too. Well, not you, but some people can be. The World of Outlaws, and then they were at Calistoga on Saturday night. David Gravel, his 8th win of the season. And by the way, David will join us on our MAV TV show presented by Sage Fruit this week. David Gravel, that's so cool. Sealands Grove, the Jim Nace Memorial, 37th National Open, $20,000. Logan Wagner, now I'm going to talk to him about this when he lands, okay? He only ran 1 305 race at Sealands Grove. Did you see that? So, but he made him pay the price this time, $20,000. Freddie Raymer second, Brian Brown third. Oshweekend Scott Kreutter, the straight shooter, the first Friday night regular to win the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals. We'll talk to him. Kreutter, Matt Farnham, and Parker Price Miller. Brian Monteith snapped a 17-month winning streak, or win streak, or loss streak at a drought, I guess it was, at Williams Grove. And DJ Foose won the race at Fremont, but Buddy Kofoid needed to finish third or better, and he finished third and won the championship. So that's for Mike and Stephanie Linder in that 11 car. So great stuff. Classic Ink, screen printing and embroidery for all your screen printing and embroidery needs, whether it's hats, whether it's towels, whether it's T-shirts, or whatever you may have, whatever you may need. ClassicInkUSA.com. It's September. Time to start looking at your clothing and apparel needs for 2020. Give them a shout at ClassicInkUSA.com. World of Outlaws Nace Energy Sprint Cars, prior to their trip this past weekend to Stockton and Calistoga, they were at Placerville. What a race this one was. Dirt Vision with Johnny Gibson had the call. Shane Golubeck and Carson Macedo. And Golubeck would get his second career World of Outlaw win. It is our Dryden Diesel All Death-Defying Move of the Week.
And now for the Dryden Death-Defying Move of the Week, where one driver simply amazes us with their on-track moves.
We've got a race for the lead into traffic into 3 and 4. Here's Golubeck to the inside of Macedo. Slide job to take the lead with the white flag waving. Macedo back to the inside, but Golubeck down the back stretch into 3 and 4 for the final time. And at the checkered flag, Shane Golubeck steals the win from Carson Macedo.
That death-defying move was brought to you by Dryden Diesel All Death, the official DEF of the World of Outlaws and wheelmen everywhere. Visit Dryden.com for more information.
Sage Fruit is a high-quality grower, packer, and shipper of Washington State apples, pears, and cherries. Sage Fruit believes in sprint car racing as a proud sponsor of sprint cars for the past 16 years and a partner of Wing Nation for the past 4 years. We love sprint car racing, and we're there for our sprint car fans. Sage Fruit works hard to deliver an exceptional eating experience. We value our relationship with sprint car fans and appreciate your continued support of Sage Fruit. Ask for Sage Fruit at your local grocer.
No matter what or where you race, Hefner Racing Products and HRP Wings has you covered. Check out the premier Shark Wing as well as other sprint car wings and components. Sprint car, mini and micro sprint wings. And the HRP Original Recess Rivet Wing. All HRP wings are wind tunnel tested. HRP carries a full line of affordable, top-of-the-line, USA-built sprint car components. Shop online for all this and more at hrpracing.com. The Racer's Choice. Hefner Racing Products and HRP Wings.
Aggressive Hydraulics, where we engineer the cylinders that move your business. We specialize in designing and manufacturing purpose-built, application-specific hydraulic cylinders with superior precision and performance, making OEM products stronger, crafting cylinders that operate on a global basis in a wide variety of industries and applications. Get aggressive with your cylinder challenges. AggressiveHydraulics.com.
If you hear squealing and grinding noises from your vehicle, it's time for new brakes. Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, when you buy any set of Brake Best pads and any 2 Brake Best rotors, you'll save 10% on your total purchase. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is Tony Stewart. You're listening to Winged Nation on MotorRacingNetwork.com.
It is Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tires, right on our strength. Having a great time here. Erin, Evernham, and Steve Post. And, well, having a little technical issue, so we'll see how this works off. It was the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals, okay? It was at Ashwegan Speedway, and he was the first Friday night regular to win the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals. Joining us on the Red Brand Fence Hotline, it is the straight shooter, Scott Kreutter. Hello, Scott. Welcome into Wing Nation.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
Oh, man, it's great to chat with you as well. Congratulations. Talk about that Canadian Sprint Car National win on Saturday night, man. That was a big one.
Yeah, that was definitely the biggest single race in my career that I've ever won. It was a really good night for the team. My teammate finished second. He came from 17th to second. So to get a podium, sweep the podium first, second there at a race like that was pretty good for our team. We've been working really hard on getting our stuff ready for the slick conditions that the Nationals produce, and we nailed it. The cars were spot on.
Scott, when you mentioned the slick conditions that the Nationals bring on, is the racetrack does it not get like that on a weekly show for you?
No, the track changes quite a bit throughout the season up at Ashwegan. It starts out pretty heavy, a little rough, and then in the middle of the year, we do see some slick nights, but it never gets as slick as it does for the Nationals, because they do Thursday night practice, then they do Friday. They had triple 15s this year, and then Saturday there's just a lot of racing that goes on, and they really don't tear the track up in between, so you kind of know what you're getting. And this year we really didn't know what to expect because Thursday rained out. They had quite a bit of weather up there. It was looking like it was going to rain on Friday. But they had the track sealed over, and it played into our favor.
Yeah, exactly. Did you run Friday night or not?
I didn't. I was up there. Matt Farnham, who's my teammate, he doesn't have a lot of starts in the 360, so we really wanted to focus on getting him seat time and working on setup, getting the setup in the car because the track was looking slick. And so I just basically played crew chief and helped on his car. And he almost won it. He led right up until the final corner and Parker Price got a random coming to the checkered, so he ended up second, which was a really good showing for us Friday night as well.
Scott, is there things that you maybe could learn? I don't know that there's any substitute for racing and driving a car. We have people tell us that there's no substitute for it. But were there things as a crew chief you learned on Friday that might have helped you on Saturday?
Absolutely. It was me and Matt have really similar driving styles. So to be able to put the setup in the car and just focus not on putting the setup in the car, going out and driving it, because when you're driving it, you're not second guessing everything, but you're overthinking it. You're not just concentrating on one thing. So I was all for not running on Friday night. I raced the whole season up at Ashweek on Friday night. So as far as track time and seat time goes, I felt comfortable enough to just focus on working on his car, sit in the grandstands, watch the attitude of the car, and I think it helped a lot.
Now, Scott, you started fourth and you fell back a little bit. Was that kind of part of the game plan? Did you think your car would come in, or is there a point in the race that you were starting to panic a little bit? I mean, it looked like towards the end you had the car rolling anywhere on the track. You wanted to be even through the middle.
Yeah, so in the heat race, I think we were just more aggressive on setup than anybody else, because in the heat race, I took right off and got the heat win. And then we made it into the pole dash, and I started sixth in the pole dash in the first, I think it was 6 laps. The first 4 laps, the car didn't go, and then the last 2 laps, it really came on. I passed Mark Smith and Parker Price, and coming to the final corner, the car felt really good. So we just made a few adjustments, and I kind of knew going into the feature that it might take a few laps to either for the tires to come in, or I'm not really sure why it's more of a long run setup, I guess, that we found out, because the longer the race went on, the more comfortable the car got, I got. I even had a lot more than I could do. I didn't have my wing all the way back, so the car was really good.
Wow, that's fantastic, man. What's it like when you're kind of rolling along on your biggest race of the year and realize you have an awful good car? What's that feeling like in the race car, knowing that you all your work looks like you might put yourself in a spot to win that thing?
Just the biggest thing was honestly just taking some deep breaths and calming down. Once the car came on and I could see that I was gaining on, I caught 6th, passed them, caught 5th, passed them, caught 4th, passed them, and then when I got to, I think Steve Poirier was running 3rd. When I caught him, he's won that race a few times and he's really good. That's when I knew I just needed to calm myself down and just run my own race, because we drove past him, and then I caught Jordan Thomas, who was running 2nd. We went past him, and I could see Parker. And at one point, my foot, I was using a lot of brake, and my foot kind of started bobbling because not nerves were getting worked up, but I needed to calm myself down and just focus on my race and getting through traffic. And once I got by him, that was probably the hardest part of the race, because now I don't have anybody to gauge. Do I need to get more aggressive with the car? Do I need to get the wing back? Because when you get comfortable, that's when you get past. So I think we stayed aggressive enough. The only car that was coming was my teammate, because he was back there fishing. He had his wing trunked more than I did, and I think he was definitely faster than me at the end of the race. But had I seen a nose, I would have been able to get more aggressive. But that's what the hardest part is deciphering what the difference of not being too aggressive and putting yourself in a bad situation.
For sure. Scott, what was that victory lane like? Kind of one for the hometown team.
Yeah, it was awesome. I've won 2 features. We've had a bunch of bad luck this year. We were leading a couple of races, got wrecked really, really bad one night, got put into the fence and by a lap car, and then broke a shock tower with 5 to go leading. So we should have had a few more wins up at Ashweekon, and it's just luck didn't play into our favor. The 2 races I did win, they did victory lanes at the very end, so I haven't actually been able to celebrate with fans up there in victory lane for the 2 features that I've won. So it was really cool to be able to celebrate. Plus, our entire team was out there with both cars finishing 1-2. Had a lot of family there. It was awesome.
Nice. Man, that is really, really cool. Was your baby there?
He was, but he was sleeping. So he has got to do a wing dance. I won Patriot Sprint Tour feature at Aries, and he was there and awake for that. So I took him up on the wing and was able to celebrate with him there. So we didn't wake him up. He was back at the camper sleeping. So we'll have to win it again so he can celebrate.
There you go. See, Scott. See, I'll bump in another year. Scott runs with us on the indoor auto racing thing up at Allentown in Atlantic City, and he had to take one of them. I think, what was it, Atlantic City? You had to take off because Mama went into labor.
Oh boy.
Yeah. We were getting ready. We were supposed to leave on Thursday for Atlantic City, and we had a doctor's appointment Wednesday morning, and they said, "Go home, pack your bags. You're going to the hospital having a baby." So we missed the Atlantic City race, but we put my good friend Matt in the car, and he went down to Atlantic City and ran. Had some tough luck, throttle stuck on him, but yeah, it was it's tough missing a race, but it was worth it. Really enjoy being a dad.
Well, I'm sure your wife appreciated it, and now your baby's got the wing dance. Scott, we talked to Clinton Jeffrey last week about how much this event has grown, the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals. How, for you who races there locally, how neat is it not only to win in front of that huge crowd, but to see an event like that grow?
It's awesome. I missed the first few just because I wasn't running sprint cars yet, and then a couple years I drove for some lower budget teams, and we didn't go up to the race. But I've competed in a decent amount of them, and I think last year was the best finish I've ever had. I finished 6th. So we've struggled in the past. Trey Hoddick, my car owner. They've been racing up at Oshwegan for a while now, and it's just been an event that we've kind of struggled at because it gets so slick, and that's just not what we've been set up for, and we just haven't really got it figured out. So we put a lot of time and effort into figuring this race out, and it paid off.
I'll say it paid off. Really, really good stuff. What's the balance of the year look like for you in the 360 car? What do you plan on going from here?
There's the Fall Nationals at Outlaw, $5,000 to win this Saturday.
Yep.
So we're gonna go. We're gonna take both cars to that. I think that's the talk right now. And then we'll see if there's a couple other big races that we might hit. It's kind of just week to week right now as far as what we're gonna do. And then once the outdoor season is done here, we'll start getting ready for all the area auto indoor races.
That was my next question. Can't wait to see it. Allentown kicks it off the first weekend of January. Well, Scott, just like I said, I think I said with Erin, and I do the indoor races, so I get a chance to watch you guys race. And when I see your name pop up winning the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals, I thought that was really cool. So congratulations on the big win up there, and we wish you the best at Outlaw this weekend. And we'll look forward, if we don't catch up with you before, and we'll catch up with you at Allentown the first of the year.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I got to thank real quick just my car owner, Trey Hoddick, and Carl here. They put so much into the program, and they give us the best equipment that there is out there. So to be able to produce the results for them is really cool. So I couldn't do it without them guys.
Mission accomplished. Appreciate the time, Scott.
Thank you.
There we go. That guy is so good. That guy in the indoor stuff.
Yeah.
He's phenomenal. He's so great. I just love watching. That's what I love about that indoor auto racing. It's TQ Racing in Allentown, Atlantic City, and Syracuse. And then we have the dirt show, the micro show at Trenton. Okay. Yeah. But what I love about it is there's NASCAR wheel and modified guys. And there's guys like Scott Kreutter, and there's TQ guys. Yeah, exactly. There's TQ guys and dirt modified guys. Eric Rudolph runs it. It's just Andy Jankowiak.
Yep.
I mean, it's this hodgepodge. It's almost like a race of champions, and you get to see these guys race. So really, really neat. And by the way, if you're in Eastern Pennsylvania, tickets for Allentown go on sale tomorrow. I just saw that. I don't know why. I had no intentions to give a plug to my friends at Area Auto Racing News and Lenny Salmon's Productions, but tomorrow tickets for Allentown go on sale, and you can watch guys like Scott Kreutter race there at the PPL Center in Allentown. Love talking to Scott Kreutter and sharing a little bit of his joy, what's going on in his world. We need to step away. We're hoping that Logan Wagner has landed his plane, and we're hoping that we'll chat with him next. Stay with us.
O'Reilly.
This is Sarah's O'Reilly Auto Parts story.
Driving cross-country with 2 young children is ambitious, to say the least. Then our check engine light came on. We pulled into O'Reilly Auto Parts, and they tested it. Turned out it was a faulty sensor. They referred us to a great mechanic just down the street, and we were back on the road in no time.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
For over 50 years, drivers in sprint car, midget, micro, modified, and even dirt lay model have taken the checkered flag on Weld racing wheels. Legendary drivers like Joe Saldana, Carl, Mark, and Steve Kinzer, Doug Wolfgang, and countless other racers have trusted Weld racing wheels for their superior strength and lightweight construction to finish ahead of the competition. With 50 years of race-winning engineering and technology, American-made Weld racing wheels are designed and built to withstand virtually any abuse you throw at them. Weld Racing, proven speed.
Here's your chance to win a set of your very own Hercules tires. Go to HerculesTires.com/MRN. Simply register, and each month we'll give away one set of tires. Hercules Tires has the value, selection, and industry-leading mileage coverage to get you wherever you need to go, no matter where the road takes you. Register now for your chance to win a set of Hercules tires at HerculesTires.com/MRN. Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
Red Brand Fence, the most durable, dependable, and safest fence in the world. Top horse farms use Red Brand Fence to safeguard their equine investments. Cattlemen install it to ensure their cattle are safe. Racetracks around the world use it to protect spectators, fans, and crews. For over a century, Red Brand's quality has been used internationally for countless uses. Red Brand Fence, the most trusted name in fence. Explore our products at redbrand.com.
Hi, I'm Rico Erin. You're listening to Wing Nation on MotorRacingNetwork.com.
Yeah. It is Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tires, and we are having a ball. Great talking with the Straight Shooter. By the way, that is a great nickname.
It is, and I love it. I feel like nicknames have kind of gotten away from it.
We have got away from them a little bit.
I love some nicknames.
The Straight Shooter, Scott Kreutter.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh, you kidding me? And great stuff. All right, also great stuff is turn number 2 of the famed Marion County Fairgrounds. And, I did see they just launched, I think this morning, a 2020 Corvette Stingray they're going to be raffling.
Yep, I did know that
so
was
you
happening.
can go to Sprint Car Hall of Fame. I think the tickets are available now.
Yeah.
So what's that? Oh, okay. I thought you were saying tickets available. Craig is whispering in our ear. He does that all the time, by the way. No, you will be good with Logan Wagner in 7 minutes. So, but when I was talking about it, I said, tickets go on sale in 7 minutes. So, but no, the tickets for the Corvette Stingray,
yes,
they're on sale, I believe now.
Yeah,
and man, that deal,
yeah.
That's a 2020 car too.
Yeah, with
that's
mid-engine.
one of the mid-engine cars. Yeah, that thing looks really good.
Those might be hard to come by. So.
Yeah. Better get your tickets, Sprint Car Hall of Fame. So we do this a lot of times. We do the birthday calendar, okay? And really, it's a quiet week up until Thursday. One of our faves, Doug Clark's birthday is Thursday.
Just waved the checker for the final time.
Final time.
The late model nationals.
In Knoxville, but now he's doing this world tour.
Yeah.
Because now they're sending him to Australia.
Well, when you're Doug Clark, you get a world tour.
Well, absolutely, you do. You're a rock star.
Exactly.
So, and one of the coolest guys on the planet.
Oh,
by the way.
is. I love me some Doug Clark.
I of course knew him as the flagger at Knoxville for years and years, and years ago he invited me up on the flag stand during hot laps. And so I went up there and about dislocated my shoulder because his flags are the size of bed sheets. And he told me, don't ever, in the downward swirl, when there's a car coming, don't bring the flag down when there's a car coming.
Oh.
And so I did really well until I stopped paying attention. And it was like slow motion, and it was when Pittman was in the Hefner car. He's coming off from turn number 4, and I get about 2/3 of the way down. I'm like, oh, no, I'm going in the wrong direction with this. I did that, and I swore that they were going to have to retrieve my arm from the streets.
Ouch.
My arm, it flew back up, and it was just like, oh, my gosh. And he looks at me and says, I told you. Yeah, exactly. So Doug's just one of those cool guys.
Yes,
so
he is.
so I got to know him a little bit there at Knoxville. But, he's busy when we're at Knoxville. But then at the Chili Bowl, he sat like a few rows behind me.
Yeah.
So during the breaks of the Chili Bowl, I'd take a wander up, and we'd sit and solve all the problems. And then the Jackson Nationals, well, we met in the beer garden and really solved some problems. Doug Clark is just the coolest man on the planet. He just is so cool.
He's always been so good to me. So the first time I raced at Knoxville, he's always given me advice, teased me, and now his big thing is he likes to tease Ray that he's going to take me on a date or he's my boyfriend. It's an ongoing thing, but I mean, kudos to him for such an awesome career.
Awesome career, yeah, and he's wrapped up as far as Knoxville goes. During the off season this year, we do a series of programs called Wing Nation Presents. And I actually had the chance at Knoxville to sit down, and we did, I think, 30 minutes with Doug, talking about his career, talking about some of the challenges. He's an African-American man in a sport that's traditionally a little bit whiter, and some of the challenges he had and some of the things that he dealt with over the course of time. So that'll be during the offseason. But Doug Clark, birthday on Thursday. Bob Estes has a birthday later this week, but Thursday would also have been the birthday of Lewis Center, okay? And again, what I love about the Hall of Fame, and we've talked about this multiple times, we understand Steve and Sammy and Doug are in the Hall of Fame. We get that. We know those guys. We know their stories. But a guy like Lewis Center, okay, he was born, I believe, in the mid-20s. He's a 2009 inductee into the Hall of Fame. As a kid, he attended the famed Gilmore Stadium, which was the big L.A. track that was before Ascot, okay? So now listen to this. Now, you're aware of the soapbox derby that they run in Akron. Yeah. And they build these soapbox cars and the gravity down the hill. Before they did this at Akron, it was at Gilmore Stadium, and one person was the driver and one person was the pusher.
Ooh.
And him and his brother did it. I couldn't figure out which one was which, but they won the preteen category in the early 30s at Gilmore Stadium.
Wow.
In the so preteen, so I mean they were just youngsters at Gilmore Stadium.
Very
always,
neat.
Yes, always a racer, always into racing. He was a machinist. As was always the case back then, and we don't understand it here sitting here in 2019 when World War II came.
Yeah.
He went into the Navy, I think it was, one of the Army. He was a machinist in the military for the 4 years. And then he came back out. In 1947, he formed Anson Automotive. And this was one of the first speed shops. They actually developed a catalog, and people could call and order. You think about how we order things now.
Yeah.
But back then, in 1947,
to get the distribution of the catalogs, and to make the catalogs.
Yeah, exactly. So he did that. He was a real innovator. Innovated the aluminum wheel was one of his items that he did. And then he took that passion he had for all things fast and all things cars, and him and a couple other guys in 1963, they formed this little organization called SEMA, which is the specialty in marketing or something. It's the SEMA show. I don't even know what it stands for, but it's the SEMA. It's the biggest.
Yeah, it's
huge. The biggest car geek show on the planet in Las Vegas.
Yep.
I mean, this thing is massive.
Huge.
I mean, we love PRI. We go to PRI as a racing show, but SEMA is automotive.
Yeah.
This is. There are 4,700 steering wheel manufacturers at SEMA. I mean, it's just crazy.
Yeah, there's a whole room that is all for wheels.
Wheels.
And when I say room, I mean
convention center room.
Stadium.
It's crazy. Yeah. So Lewis Center, was part of forming SEMA.
Wow.
What a visionary.
Yeah.
Not only with his technical prowess in developing parts and stuff, but also the business end of it. And then to realize the need for a trade show. And now, one word in the automotive industry. I have a friend, Jennifer, was with Weld Racing. She was our girl with Gail at Weld Racing. Jennifer and her worked together on that. Jennifer is no longer with Weld Racing. She's with a truck manufacturer, a truck box camper. The boxes on top of it. And like one of the first things she put in her Facebook post, I found a job. I'm with this manufacturing. Can't wait to see everyone at SEMA.
Yeah.
It's the language. Can't wait to see it at SEMA. Can't wait to see it at Knoxville. Can't wait to see a Chili Bowl. Can't wait to see you. SEMA is that for the automotive industry.
Is.
I mean, from a business perspective to a social perspective.
Oh yeah.
And so
I mean,
especially
in Vegas.
Well, in Vegas it is social for sure. So this guy is unreal. Now he died, lived a wonderful life. 95 years old in 2016 he passed.
Wow.
Which was great because 2009 inductee, he was able to be there, be inducted into the Hall of Fame, and I think that's the beauty of it, Erin. And you're on the board of directors for the Sprint Car Hall. It's the stories, it's the people, and it's the ones that hold the steering wheel and climb on the wings, but it's the ones that give all of that
that same passion, but behind the scenes or behind the camera. I love every year going to the induction ceremony because you get to hear the story of all the inductees, but you get to meet some of their family and you get to just hear how much. I mean, we always talk about it. It's really all about the passion and the work towards sprint car racing. But I love hearing the stories and to get to know each story individually.
It is absolutely amazing. So really, really good stuff. That is for sure. We're close to getting Logan Wagner. Do we need? Okay, that's what I was going to ask. Yeah, no, that's what I figured. I was going to ask about that. What we're going to do here, okay, we're on a little radio talk here. We're going to step away. We're within a minute or two of Logan landing, wherever he's flying to. Logan's a pilot.
Logan landing.
Logan landing, exactly. But we wanted to get him on to talk about that Selinsgrove win. And so we're going to step away. We'll be back with more Wing Nation in just a moment.
The world's largest selection of sprint car merchandise. SprintCarStuff.com. Diecast, t-shirts, clothing, photographs, prints, and much more. Gifts for you or the sprint car fan in your life. SprintCarStuff.com has it. And all proceeds benefit the Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum in Knoxville, Iowa. Next time you're looking for sprint car stuff, remember SprintCarStuff.com. Your online home for any and all sprint car gifts and collectibles.
10 tours, over 200 nights of racing. The American Sprint Car Series is back for its 28th year. Whether you're enjoying the Lucas Oil American Sprint Car Series National Tour at Williams Grove, Eagle Raceway, Skagit Speedway, or any of the 9 ASCS regional tours across Arizona, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and beyond, winged and even non-winged, there's a race happening near you. Check online for schedule details at ASCSRacing.com. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And when you can't be there live, catch the National Tour and select regional events on RacingBoys.com.
Looking for custom racewear and embroidery? Do you want your race fans to represent your race team with trendy, original apparel? Contact Classic Ink USA, the new standard in custom screen printing and embroidery, located in Greater Pittsburgh. Classic Ink USA's professional staff utilizes state-of-the-art facilities to transform your ideas into an attractive wearable piece. From custom track swag racewear to trendy quick crew wear, Classic Ink handles it all. Find out how you can get started. Contact Classic Ink USA screen printing and embroidery at the track and on your back.
Since the dawn of American industry, Dryden was there as the country built its first roads, laid the blocks of its factories, and spanned rivers with new bridges and rails. Today, with Dryden's all technology, we instill this heritage into every Dryden oil, lubricant, fluid, and DEF product we make. Dryden is a tradition of performance with 21st century technology. Dryden, official motor oil of the World of Outlaws, and always American owned and operated. Visit Dryden.com for more information.
O'Reilly.
Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, pick up 2 5.25-ounce bottles of Lucas Fuel Injector Cleaner for $8. Clean and lubricate your fuel system while increasing miles per gallon with 2 bottles of Lucas Fuel Injector Cleaner for $8 at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is Paul McMahon, and you're watching MRN's Wing Nation on MRN.com.
It is Wing Nation presented by Hercules Tires. Let's go right back to the Red Brand Fence Hotline because joining us from some airport somewhere, he is the winner of the National Open at Selinsgrove, the Jim Nace Memorial. Logan Wagner's on the line. Hello, Logan. How are you?
Hey, guys. Pretty good. How about yourself?
We are doing well. Where are you at? What airport are you at?
Actually, I'm in Bedford, Pennsylvania. I just got back to my home airport just right now.
There you go. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good. Obviously a safe trip and everything, so that's good to hear. Yeah.
Yeah, I was out buzzing around up northeast Philly today, and passenger showed up early, so I got to come back early, and it all worked out. On the phone with you guys.
There we go. Talking about that big win at Selinsgrove. Tell us about that.
That was I was ecstatic. You know, anytime you're going up against those kind of guys, you know, Brian Brown and Gary Madsen come in for that, and when money's on the line, you know, it just puts a whole different aspect into the racing. So we go in, you know, with an open mind. You know, we have a fast car. We took our car from Port Royal this year that we've been pretty fast with, and took it up there, and ultimately we time trialed well, put ourselves in position through time trial. We were 5th quick, I think, overall, and won the heat race, and then started on the pole of the feature. And I knew it was very critical to get out front early, and we did that, and let every lap. So you know, you don't know what type of pace to set when you're the leader, and I'm sure everyone will agree. You don't want to use your tires up too early, but you also don't want to set a slow pace to where you're going to get past. So I feel like I set a decent pace and got by traffic early, and capitalized on that, and then had to tone it back. But I tell you what, at that halfway point, we were 20 laps in, and I was my belt and looked at my left rear, and it wasn't what I wanted to see. I smoked my left rear pretty good early, so you don't want to go in conservation mode after that. So man, I was looking at 5 to go, thinking this left rear ain't gonna last, and 2 to go, and then ultimately the 1 flat flag and seen the white flag and come down off at turn 3, and I thought, well, I hope this tire don't blow. I think it's going to last. Even if it does, I think you can run it to the checkered. So I was holding my breath. I don't know about the rest of the guys, but I don't even think Tommy Carl thought it was going to last. But we made it last, and ultimately got that $20,000. So that was cool.
Nice.
Wow, that's incredible. So what did your tire look like at the 20 lap break when you had the refuel stop? Was it blistered? Was it worn? What did it look like that had you so nervous?
Yeah, so I'm sure you guys maybe have seen like blisters on the inside and outside of the left rear. So what happens is just a little introduction to what the tire does is it gets low on air under a caution. And then whenever you take back off, you get a vibration sense, or you'll get this feeling of the tire wrinkling underneath of you. And that's because it's riding on the inside and outside of the tire. And then it's heating up and it's blistering. So under the caution, what happens is the air goes down. It went down under the caution, and the tire cools down. And then instead of running on 6 pounds or 7 pounds, you might be running on 4 or 5. So it rides on the inside and outside of that tire and then blisters. So that's what ultimately happened and put us in a spot at halfway point to just keep our fingers crossed and pray it holds up.
Gosh, I guess that makes sense though when you think about the outside and the outside blistering because of the low pressure. It blisters because of that. It's there's a little bit of this backward. Of course, I'm not an engineer or a race car driver like you, so.
Well, and there's not much you can do to really preserve the left rear tire. Like if it's a right rear, you can kind of put it up in the cushion or do a little. I mean, obviously, Logan, you can tell more than I can. I haven't raced in a long time, but a left rear, there's not much you can do to preserve it.
There's not much. I'll tell you what. A big contributing factor to heating up a tire is at the end of the straightaways. I was tight on entry, so I was blowing through the cushion. So I'm the kind of driver that just sort of hosses it in. I like to throw my car in there and make it turn. So whenever I do that, it really builds a lot of heat there, getting into the corner, and I had to do that early on. So we set the car up a little differently for the second half to where I could let the car rotate itself in on entry and above the cushion. So that definitely helped, and I could get it in then on the right side. And when I feel the car transition to the right side, then I can roll off my right rear instead of my left rear. So I was really trying to focus on getting it in on the right side of the car and getting it in above the cushion on the right side of the car. And ultimately it held up and it worked. And I'm here talking to you guys. So,
fascinating.
Again, I'm pretty blown away,
Yeah, fascinating stuff. Okay, so now the story that the track put out said that Tommy Carl, your crew chief, called you and said, how do you do at Selinsgrove? What was the story there?
Yeah, so he called me earlier in the week and he said, hey, I haven't run Selinsgrove in a long time. He said, what kind of setup do you got for there? And I said, hey, Tommy, I'll tell you what, man, your setup's better than mine. And that was where the conversation ended. I didn't have the heart to tell him, hey, man, I've never raced there in a 410. Last time I raced there was 8 years ago in a 305. And I never told him any different.
Oh my God.
I didn't want him thinking, your driver's never been there. This should be interesting. So I told him in Victory Lane. That's sort of how
oh my God!
How I had to tell him. I said, I told him Victory Lane. Hey man, that's the first time I've been at this track, but it worked out. We started up front, we run up front, and I can tell you, if I would have started 10th or 15th, it would have been awfully hard to win that race. We were fortunate enough to put ourselves in good position and win the race, and he was he made the car work, and where I wanted to put it, and ultimately come off with the win. But yeah, it was funny early in the week. He said something about the race are set up, and I said, well, let's go with your setup.
Oh, that's good.
Fantastic,
that is good
right
stuff.
there you go, good stuff.
Logan, what is it? I mean, to drive the Zemco car, it's such a historic car with such, the list of drivers who have run it is so unbelievable. But not only to drive that car, but to put it in Victory Lane and have the Zemitises there in Victory Lane with you. Talk about what that means to you.
Yeah, you go through John and Pee Wee's trophy room at their house, and then you see guys like Kevin Gobrek, Billy Pouch, and trophies taller than me. What's over? These guys that have multiple years and multiple wins in that car, and to see John in Victory Lane that many times, it's almost breathtaking. If you have a respect for sprint car racing, you almost have to have a respect for what he's done, John and Pee Wee have done for racing, it's a lot like the Weichert Club. Weichert messaged me, and I said, I thank guys like yourself for being in the sport for 30-plus years and dedicating a lot of time and money into this sport, and that helps guys like me coming up through the ranks get rides like that, So if John and Pee Wee were to pack up and call it a season after 20 years, I wouldn't be here talking to you right now.
Yeah.
So, just to be in that car and drive that thing, and for it to still be fast is really what gets me.
It should, and it's so good that car. And I've told this story before. And during the off season, we have another one of our Wing Nation presents. I sat down with John and Pee Wee up at Port Royal, and that car at one time when Gobrecker Pouch was in that car, when that rolled in, you knew it was a race for second. And in complete honesty, the Zemco car it's always been a good car, but it became just a good car in the pack. And it's so much fun to see you at Port Royal now, and now moving to Selinsgrove, putting that car so that all of a sudden that's the one every stopwatch is on. And I think that's the great part about it, because that's what John and Pee Wee deserve, is having the stopwatch on their car at all the time.
Yeah, no, exactly. And they deserve to sit in the stands and watch that car go around there in a fashion that we have been going around the track. I mean, to be winning races and running up front. I think just at Port Royal we had like 16 top fives, so we're consistently there, and that's a testament to how well the maintenance in every single week and everything's done with the car and how spot on everything is. To be right up front and consistent up front is a testament to them and Tommy and the rest of the crew for doing their job.
No doubt.
For sure. And that car has always been, to me, one of the best looking race cars.
God,
I always love that paint scheme. Logan, what else do you have left on the schedule? Obviously, there's some pretty big shows in Pennsylvania coming up.
Yeah, I think we're, now that we got off the porch there at Port Royal and we did that feeling.
Yeah, wow, way up Highway 35 there, man.
I
really
just keep on trucking, It's got a tear to my eye crossing through Port Royal and going to Selinsgrove. You have to do it at some point, So, no, I think we're going to hit Williamsville Friday, and then I think we're going to go Sunday to Hagerstown, and then we're going to go to Lernerville again with the Outlaws next Saturday.
Nice.
And run out there. We did pretty well out there last time, and I like that track. So we're going to go back out there, and then I think Port Royal has another Sprintacular race, and then the Outlaws at Port Royal. So we're going to call it a year there and not go down to Charlotte or anything. And maybe we can try to talk the Zemco team into heading to Florida in February. I think that'd be really cool. So, yeah, we'll see here at the end of the year what we got. But, it's all – what's on the horizon is really looking good for us and what we're doing.
So exciting. It really is. It's so much fun to watch you wheel that car and celebrate in Victory Lane with your family, your friends, your crew. John and Pee Wee there. It was really, really neat to see. Logan, we're glad you had the success on Saturday night. We always appreciate the time. Always great to chat with you. And we wish you the best in the remaining races this season.
Yep. Thank you guys very much for having me, and look forward to talking to you soon.
There we go. Logan Wagner joining us here on the show. Man, it is, when that Zemco car, I'm so excited about what Logan and Tommy have been able to do with that car this year.
Get it back where it belongs.
Get back where that car belongs. And now, listen to this. They're talking now. We'll go to Hagerstown. Maybe we'll go to Lernerville. They're going to go to Williamsgrove.
Getting off the porch a lot now.
Well, if the porch is Port Royal, Dietrich was lighting them up about getting off the porch because it's all of 18 miles up Highway 35 to get off the porch.
Does that really count?
Yeah, I mean,
I guess.
I guess it does. It's great. Man, there's a cat. Of course, his dad, Mike Wagner, one of the great racers up in Pennsylvania. So it's all in the family there with everybody, and great to see him have the success. So that is really, really great stuff, and that is going to. Wow, we've gone long today.
Yeah.
Oh, and we still haven't.
I know. I'm
this
staring
fudge.
at this fudge.
I know this fudge is sitting here teasing us too. So we do need to wrap it up there. We do appreciate the calisthenics that Craig, our producer, and Logan went through to get him on the show with all of the transportation issues and everything. And always great to hear from Scott Kreutter as well. Want to remind you that Wing Nation gear is available at www.wingnation.com. That's wingnation.com. And you can find it all this weekend up in central Pennsylvania. Williams Grove, Lincoln, and then down to Hagerstown, Maryland. And coming up on Wing Nation, we've got our Thursday podcast. We're going to talk a lot about Jesse Hockett and Daniel McMillan.
Yeah.
It is the memorial race this weekend for the Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour, and nobody knows those two better than Scott Traylor from Racing Boys. So we're going to talk to Scott on Thursday, and then coming up on Saturday, Wing Nation by Sage Fruit on MAV TV, we are going to talk to David Gravel, and that's at 7:30 and 10:30, new times on our MAV TV show there this weekend, David Gravel. So we appreciate Scott Kreutter and Logan Wagner for joining us here today on Wing Nation.
Wing Nation has been brought to you by Hercules Tires. Ride on our string. Watch Wing Nation Saturday mornings on MAV TV. You can also find Wing Nation on wingnation.com or your favorite podcast provider. Wing Nation is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.